Hello and welcome back to the Beginners Tatting video series. Today, for needle tatters, I've got something that you're going to enjoy. I'm going to be using a size 10 crochet cotton and the size needle that goes with it. I believe it's a 5. And what we're going to do today is a Josephine knot, a Josephine ring, and a Josephine chain. 3 beautiful elements that you can add to your tatting to give it a new dimension. So we're going to get started, and I have got my needle threaded with about 12 to 18 inches of tail thread, and we're going to do our Josephine knot first. A Josephine knot and a Josephine ring are similar but yet different. A Josephine knot is just what it says, a knot. And it is commonly used when you have tatted doilies and stuff that have bare thread in them. They'll put a knot in as an extra element to give it a little bit more dimension rather than have just a piece of bare thread there. Josephine ring is used as a ring, and it gives an added dimension to just a regular tatted ring. So we're going to get on with it, and I'm going to show you how to do both of those, and then when we do the Josephine chain, I'll give you some demonstration on what you can use that for as well. First thing we're going to do is a Josephine knot. Now, to do a Josephine knot, what you're going to do is the first half of the double stitch only. So we're going to do that, and usually it's 4 or 5 times. And that's it, okay? So we're going to do 4 first half of the double stitch. I got them on my needle. Now we're going to pull them through, but we're going to treat it as if it is a ring, because that's the way we're going to close that knot. Okay, so we pull our thread through, just like we do when we're closing a ring. Pull it through, make sure our tail gets out, and we're going to run that needle up the back of that thread, right up through that loop. Now you want to hold those stitches in between your fingers because you don't want them to roll or nothing. And as you're closing this knot, you'll feel it close. You want it to close flat. If it's in between your fingers, you can feel it come in. Okay, see how it's coming in? And you just keep pulling until it pulls taut. Okay? This thread is not very good thread, but as you can see, for this type of work, as you can see, it pulls it up and makes a knot on it. Okay? Now, that into a bare thread on a tatted doily looks much better than just the plain bare thread. It gives it an added dimension. Okay? Now, next thing we're going to do is a Josephine ring. To do a ring, same setup. You leave your tail here. You get your loop, lay it up there, and you're going to put, let me see, let's start this up here, right here, because we're working from that end. Okay, we're going to do just the first half of the double stitch, and we're going to do 10 of those. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now it's going to cause your thread to twist. If it does, that's fine. But I'm going to show you this real quick. The Josephine chain, if you look at this, let me zoom in on that. See that? If you're doing a chain, that's what it's going to look like on the Josephine chain. Because the Josephine chain is the same stitch. Okay? But right now we're doing a Josephine ring. So what we're going to do is pull that off. We've got our 10 stitches. Now with the Josephine ring, you want these to lay side by side. You want it flat. Okay? You don't want the twist in the chain, or in the ring. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull it off. We got our stitches on there. They're all facing the same direction. Hold that with your fingers. Pull your thread through. Pull that tail out. If you can find your tail thread, pull that out. And you're going to run that needle up through your loop, holding those stitches in place. And you're going to close that ring. Do not remove that from your finger until that ring is closed. Because if you do, they twist. And you don't want the twist for a Josephine ring. But that's what it looks like. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? And if you do the second half, the flow of the ring this way, this is the first half. And the flow is going to the right. If you did the second half of the double stitch, the flow of that would go to the left. So it's all in your thoughts what you want it to do. Now I'm going to cut this off. And the next thing we're going to do is a Josephine chain. Okay? Let me rethread my needle. I'm going to pause because this usually takes me a few minutes. And then I'll come right back to you. Okay. We got her threaded. First try. We're doing good. Okay. To do our Josephine chain, let me zoom back out, or come back out a little bit so you can see this. We're going to do the first half of our double stitch only. Okay? Hold our thread, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I try not to do more than a set of 10 when I'm doing a Josephine chain, just so that I can keep it all even. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We take that thread, you see, I'm holding my thread, and you just pull it around your needle till you come back around to the front. Then you're going to do another set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you just roll it around till you come back to meet yourself. Okay? Now if you want to put a picot in there, you will do a completed double stitch before and after the picot. So let's go ahead and put a picot in so you can see what that looks like. And then we go back to doing our 10 sets of 10. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now as you're doing this, you'll find that it takes the twist out of your thread. What you want to do is take and pick it up while it's still on the needle and just let it twist itself back in. Okay? Shuttle tatters do that. They'll drop their shuttle to get the twist out. But if they want the twist back in, they do the same thing. Okay, as you can see, we've got our picot in. Okay? Now we're going to run that around, twist it, and we've still got our picot, but you see it's become part of the element. That way you can attach to that If you're using this chain as a decorative element and you need a picot to join something to, you've got it. It's there. So I'm going to zoom in on this before I pull it through. That way you can see what it looks like. Let's get a good shot of it. That may be too close. Let me zoom out just a hair. There you go. Okay, put my hand behind it so you can see. See how it twists around? Isn't that beautiful? I've done a necklace like this and everybody wanted to know where I got this lace to do that necklace chain with. So there you go. That is a tatted Josephine chain. Now what we're going to do, pull some tail thread through, okay, and we're going to pull it off the needle. And as with all needle tatting, when you pull it off, you make sure you tie your knot to continue on to your next element. Okay, pull your tail through. Once you pull your tail through, pull your shuttle thread through, and there's your chain. Okay, that's it in a nutshell. If you don't like the amount of twist, you can always untwist it. It's all in your discretion. And like I say, it is a beautiful element to use as far as a chain for a necklace or whatever. Okay, so that is the gist of a Josephine chain, a Josephine ring, and a Josephine knot. Okay, the Josephine knots with needle tatting is super small, and they look like a knot in the thread. Shuttle tatters, when they do a Josephine knot, they're gorgeous with a shuttle. My advice to all needle tatters, if at all possible, learn to shuttle tat and combine the two together when you're making different elements to your tatted piece, because there are some things that a needle does that's not as pretty as a shuttle, and vice versa. There are things like the Josephine chain. To me, the Josephine chain is so much prettier done on a needle than it is on a shuttle. So if you incorporate both tools in your tatting, think of the masterpieces that you can come up with. So my advice is to learn both ways. I use needle tatting if I'm trying out a new technique, because it's easier to learn the technique and get it down with a needle, using a needle as a shuttle. And in my future videos, I'm going to show you how to do that. Use your needle as a shuttle, because there are some patterns that are designed for shuttle tatters and you have to use a needle. So needless to say, learn both. If there's any way possible you can learn to do both, my advice is learn to do both. Because you can do anything on a shuttle that you can do with a needle, just about. Okay? You can do anything with a needle that you can do on a shuttle. There are some drawbacks on both sides. So it's your preference mainly, what you enjoy to do. But if you can learn both the shuttle and the needle, you broaden your horizons on what you know, and therefore you can broaden your horizons on what you do. So take advantage of the videos and try to learn some more. If you run across something that you don't understand and you want to learn, make a comment in the comment section. If I don't know it, I'll investigate it, look it up, find out how to do it, talk to my resources, and I will do a video on it. Not a problem to me. Don't mind it at all, because tatting's not going to go anywhere if people don't share. So enjoy your day. Hope I taught you something today that you can use in the future on future projects. Happy tatting. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.